Welcome back to Light Beyond the Ashes, the podcast where science meets spirituality and awakening becomes embodied. I'm your host, Amber Humphrey. This week, I sit down with Kailee Huckaby, a somatic body, mind, and soul practitioner, Reiki Master, and the founder of the Mystic Mercantile, for a conversation that goes straight to the heart of awakening, resilience, and unshakable faith. Kailee shares her journey through profound darkness, spiritual and psychic attacks that try to dim her light, alcoholism, debilitating pain that led to a life-changing surgery, and the grief of losing her father at a young age. Through it all, one word carried her forward when everything else felt impossible: determined. And determined she is. We talk about the divine gift of discernment and how it becomes the guiding light as you awaken, the kind of inner knowing that protects, reveals, and anchors you in truth. Kailee's faith never wavered, even when the shadows were loud. Her light is so powerful, it acts like a mirror, reflecting truth back to everyone she meets. And not everyone is ready for what that light reveals. Still, she chooses to shine anyway. This conversation is a reminder that your light was never meant to be dimmed to make others feel comfortable. It was meant to illuminate, to heal, and to lead, no matter the cost. This episode will make you laugh, cry, and feel every emotion in between. It felt like an activation for both of us, and I know it will for you too. If this story resonates with your own journey, like and subscribe to continue expanding your soul through stories that remind you of who you truly are. Welcome back to Light Beyond the Ashes, the podcast where we talk about all things spiritual. And on this episode, I have my dear friend, Kailee Huckaby. She is a Reiki Master, a member of the Texas Reiki Alliance with me as well. And she's a somatic mind-body healing practitioner, as well as the founder of Mystic Mercantile. Kailee, I am so excited that you're here today.
Thank you. I am too.
It's been such an honor to kind of get to know you these last few months when we were working at with our Reiki group together and doing some joyride healing of the horses out there. So tell the world a little bit about who you are and how we got to this moment.
Oh, man. Okay. I'll rewind back to 2019.
Okay.
So, I'm sure everybody kind of remembers like this pivotal point where their spiritual journey just kind of started.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, it was, I've always been into things that are natural and holistic. But in 2019, my world just turned upside down, essentially. I was in a relationship for about 5 years, just going through the motions.
Right.
I thought, this is it. Eventually we're just going to get married and that's life. And then one day he just said, I'm not happy and I want to move out. So that turned my world upside down, but I felt such relief, but then also my ego was bruised. I was like, oh, you can't just leave me.
Right.
I'm so awesome, and but that really was like the pivotal point of like, I need to start searching for answers, and so I did. I was really angry. A friend of mine at the time was doing Reiki, and I never heard of Reiki. And I just told her, I said, well, can you make me feel any worse? And she goes, no, you're going to feel much better. I said, okay, sign me up.
Yeah.
So I laid on the table, she put her hands on me, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of, holy cow, what is this? What's going on inside of me?
Yeah.
I mean, I bawled like a baby. I mean,
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about like decades of just pent up anger and frustration and feeling lost. And it just came out.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, I feel incredible. I felt weightless. I didn't feel like I had this backpack of burdens on. I was just free. And so I thought, oh my God, there's something to this. I've got to do this for other people because I feel absolutely incredible. And so from there, I continued to get Reiki. I started to learn about Reiki, and that was in, I guess, July 2019. And then I'm doing the Reiki, getting the Reiki. In October of 2020, I went to the hospital for these intense, serious stomach pains that I'd never felt before. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand. I couldn't walk. I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. Because up until this point, I had been, fairly healthy, didn't really have any health issues, and went to the hospital and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And the doctor just said, well, here's a handful of antibiotics, come back and see me in a week. And it didn't help. And now I know it just completely destroyed my gut health. And
and it messes with the mental health too sometimes.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, and it was funny because these stomach pains just kept happening like clockwork. I'd be down for a week, couldn't walk, couldn't really eat. And then I'd be fine for a couple weeks. And then it kept happening. Now I realize the correlation, but at the time I was like, what is going on?
So was there something spiritual that was happening at the time that you were aware of, or was it not until much later that you kind of realized there was something going on that was deeper than just physiological stomach pain?
It was later on that I realized that there was something deeper than physiological pain. But, at first it was just like, well, I guess what everybody asks is, why is this happening? What is happening to me?
So how did you survive that season?
I don't know.
Yeah. I
really don't know. With the help of lots of friends and family and support, at the time, a lot of people that I know lost their job in 2020, myself included, when the pandemic hit. So having some sort of health insurance to really discover and find out what was going on was just not an option for me.
Right.
So I just decided to keep, go into the chiropractor who does wellness and kinesiology and muscle testing, and just kept saying, I think it's salmonella. I'm like, I'm not eating like weird lettuce or raw chicken or, and it just kept coming up for me during the muscle testing. I couldn't figure out what's going on. And then, so after like October 2020, for about 7 months, this kind of kept happening. And then it kind of stopped. And it stopped because I got back on birth control.
Okay.
I realize this now, but at the time I'm not understanding the correlation at all.
Right.
So let's see here. So then March of 2021, I meet my now husband. We went on our first date. That was really great. And at the time, for 2 years I was single and I wasn't looking for anything.
Right.
It was just really, I wanted to discover more about myself. During those 2 years from 2019 to 2021, a spiritual journey, as you know, it's a journey, it's an ongoing thing. Yeah. But I started diving into inner child healing. I was like, what's that about? Oh my gosh, I have this little Kailee that I have to parent and take care of and love and nurture and allow her to feel seen and heard. Like, what's that all about? I didn't know about inner child healing or shadow work or shadow integration, whatever you want to call it. I had no idea.
Were you already awake at this point, or were you was this all part of like the unfolding of the awakening, is the inner child? Because my inner child healing came before my awakening. Yeah. And I had my little picture of myself, my 3-year-old Amber, and I was nurturing her and taking care of her and telling her she's safe and I love her and that nothing can hurt her anymore. And then like the more layers of trauma that I unraveled, then like I had this bursting open moment. Was that kind of like what it was for you?
It was a little different. So for me, I had my spiritual awakening and then was introduced to inner child healing, shadow integration, along with Reiki and energy healing and all other various modalities. And so, my, just to give you a bit of history, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom raised me from the time that I was 6. And the reason being is because my dad, he was not happy, and he decided to take his own life. So from there, growing up without a dad was challenging and difficult. And, my mom, I love her. She did the absolute best that she could. She put me through private school. She owned her own company. But there was just always something different. And I didn't know this at the time, but it was just one of those things where I didn't feel worthy to be in a loving and healthy relationship, given my background of being broken. P.S. No one's broken.
No one's broken.
But that's what I felt like. And so, between the age of like 6 and 32, let's just say, I was really angry about my dad taking his own life. It was unfair. He left my mom and I, and there was so much anger and frustration and feeling unworthy. And I didn't tie the unworthiness until later on, these past few years, because I didn't know what I was feeling. Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's like, I don't know about other people, but I turned 30 and I was like, okay, I'm going to get some therapy, you know? I mean, I was in therapy as a child, you know, just to deal with all of this. But that's when I kind of started exploring, you know, maybe there is something more to it than just what meets the eye. And
there was so much inner child healing that was required, especially when something that traumatic happens. Yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but I have more compassion and understanding for people making that decision.
Absolutely.
And like me and you at one of the sound healing, you know, events over at Bonnie's house, my Reiki master and friend, I confided in you that I was having a really hard time and that I was struggling with not wanting to be here, and had come close to that a few times. And I didn't know your story, but I hadn't told a lot of people that.
Yeah.
And like the fact that I was telling you, who I'd only met a couple of times, and I was like, why am I telling you this? And then, you know, you made me feel so safe in that moment. And I literally remember standing in the kitchen and you're like, I understand like what you're experiencing and going through. I've been on the other side of that. And like, you know, having children, like you can't imagine doing that and leaving your children behind. But man, does it get dark.
It does. It gets really dark. And you know, I'm so glad that I was able to see you that day and give you the biggest hug, because I saw you in that moment. Like I know what you were feeling. I've had my own struggles with mental illness and not wanting to be here because it just feels like so much. Mm-hmm. So I understand that.
You were just the warm hug that I needed to kind of get me through that. And like when you're doing sound healing too, like a lot of stuff comes up too in your own body, and you're like, it's peaceful and beautiful, but then like you're activating and resonating with different frequencies, and like everyone becomes like this tuning fork of energy, and you're, whoa, what am I feeling? You know? And so I think just like being in the energy circle with you and doing the Reiki and learning alongside you has been really beautiful for me. I'm not yet a Reiki master, but level 1 and level 2, and just being able to find people like you has been life-changing for me. And I'm grateful for you. So
I'm grateful for you too.
So you were saying, you know, like how you now are 32 years old.
Yeah. Well, not now. Now I'm 38.
Well, but when you're into that point, the 6 to 32, you're healing.
Right.
Is that around the 2021 timeframe, or when you're waking up, or no, not yet?
No, I mean, I still had my own complicated relationship with alcohol, you know, teenager and early 20s and late 20s and things like that. But
trying to numb.
Totally trying to numb. I didn't know. I mean, I just thought this is a great way to deal with it. I can escape. It's socially acceptable. And, you know, why not? I didn't really care if I was hurting people in the process. I just know that I was hurting. But it wasn't until I discovered this box that my dad, his suicide letter in there.
Oh, wow.
To my mom and to my half brother and to myself. And I opened the box several years ago and then didn't revisit it, but I remembered where it was in the garage. So I pulled it out and I just sat with it in the room. I just sat with it and I said, okay, if you've got something to share with me, I really want to hear it. And all of a sudden, it was so intense. I remember that I was just sitting there and all of a sudden I felt this huge weight sitting on my chest. I mean, it felt like a freaking elephant was sitting on me. And I thought, holy shit, is this what it feels like? And I hear him say, yeah. And I am so sorry, but I just couldn't bear it anymore. And it was in that moment that I realized that frustration and that anger shifted to like so much love and compassion, because it's so easy to just judge someone and be like, oh, they're weak, or, you know, look at all that they're leaving behind. Oh, I need a tissue.
I know.
But it was fulfilling. It was what I needed. It was what I needed from my dad. And he's actually one of my spirit guides. So
I feel him right now so strong. Like I just feel it all over my legs. Yeah. Like, is that where I'm just, it's love. It's like
so
a
much
hug.
love.
It feels like he's definitely like a teddy bear kind of hug energy, right?
It's beautiful. It really is. Yeah. And I'm so blessed that I have this new relationship with him. You know, I mean, from the time you're little till 6, I mean, you have memories, you know, things like that, but I get to see him in a whole different light now. And he's rooting for me, and he's like, just put one foot in front of the other. I promise you everything's going to be okay. I'm here to support you. And one of the things that he told me, is he just said, you know, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be what you needed me to be when I was here on this earth, but I'm here for you now. And so that just gives me such overwhelming peace to know that he's here. And I love him dearly, and I don't judge him. I have this whole new perspective of compassion. So anyone that's struggling, it's like, you know, it's like I told you, it's like I see you. Like I know what you're going through. I know how it feels to feel what you're feeling, but to also be on the other side of it where, you know, what you leave behind.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, I just feel so moved by it because it's like you never want to leave people.
No.
Right? You know, he wasn't trying to just leave you guys, but the hole that's left behind feels like such this huge abandonment wound that took almost 30 years to unravel.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the energy of him being with us right now, I know he is, and him being with you, how do you experience him? Because I think a lot of people who might be listening or watching don't understand, like, I don't necessarily say I'm a medium or mediumship. I just, I can connect in a way with my passed on loved ones. When my grandmother passed away, she visited me the next day. My grandfather, who I've never met, has visited me. A friend of mine whose father did take his life when his business was failing came to me in a really hard day when I was contemplating. And he literally said, it's not worth it, kid.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And like, that saved me. And I told her, I was like, your dad, by the way, your dad came to me and he told me, and she was like, and she just hugged me and she didn't even care. She believed me right away. And she was like, it's not worth it. Like everything will get better. It's not worth it. How do you experience when you've had somebody pass on to the other side? Like, how do you experience your dad now?
So for me, him being one of my spirit guides, I just call him in and I say, hey, I need some help. But it's, when I do that, it's like I go to this place, not here, I'm physically here, but I go to this other place and I see little Kailee wrapping her tiny little arms around this huge man with this beautiful beard, and I can feel his beard against my cheek. And it's just the most loving, safe hug you can ever imagine. And I'm so thankful that I have those experiences and will continue to have those. And I'm just so grateful I have that connection with him. So that's what I feel. And then when other spirits are present that want to be known, past loved ones, things like that, I just get what I call truth bumps. So I
like that.
Yeah, I mean, goosebumps really, but they're truth bumps. You know, it's like, it's the confirmation that I'm feeling. It's like I'm calling in, and then it's like, whoa, okay, and my legs start to tingle a little bit. Maybe some slight heart palpitations, but then I just feel the presence, and it feels so loving and so safe and so peaceful.
Oh, I love that. That's exactly how I experienced it. That's what I felt.
Yeah, you just get
when we were sitting here at first, when he first started talking about it, I felt like this, like truth bumps, like all over my legs, but it's like, it's heaviness, but not in a bad way.
No.
Like just almost like pressure, like a hug.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like, I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah. And it's like, it's energetics. And I think, you know, when we understand that energy can never be created nor destroyed, just transferred and transformed. And so you're like, okay, he's with me. He's just energetically in a different time and space that I can't perceive. But like, we've all felt this moment like of like, whoa, what was that? Whether it be a cool breeze or like a chill that comes out of nowhere. Like, this is what it's like when you're connected.
Absolutely.
And it's so amazing and peaceful and beautiful.
I know. And everybody thinks you're crazy. And you're like, you know, I'm standing in my own truth, you know? I'm
like, listen, I'm fine. I'm happy.
I'm really fine. Yeah. I know you want to lock me away and throw some pills at me, but like, I promise you, like, y'all come to this side. This is way better.
And just to have the divination of being able to reach out and be like, hey, I need some guidance. And then you get a synchronicity or you get some sort of sign that like, you know, you're right where you need to be.
I do. I see like numbers all the time. I'll be driving and I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm feeling this sort of way. Show me a sign. And then I literally will see double or triple digits of angel numbers on license plates or billboards. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm on the right track.
Literally today, my friend, Ashley, your spiritual bestie, she asked me, she goes, what is an angel number that speaks to you all the time? I'm like 444. And you walk in, I was like, what does your necklace say? And you're like, 444. I was like, of course it does.
444.
Like one day later.
Yeah. No, like 444 for me, it's it's a reminder to ask your angels for help because we all have an assigned team. We have our angels of light and archangels of light, and they want to help. They totally want to help. And the only time they can really intervene is if it's like a, you know, near death experience, you know, because we all have an expiration date.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, we know you can't find your sunglasses. We know you're spinning out of control. All you got to do is ask for help. And you're like, okay, I need help.
I know. This week I asked her, like, please, I called upon the archangels and angels, like angels and beings of light, take away these burdens. They're too heavy to carry. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I need some help. I need you to clear my path. And then today I walk into like a whole new energy. I feel so much lighter. And I'm like, oh, thanks. But you do kind of have to call upon it and ask and believe.
Well, you do, because there's free will. So they can't intervene. I mean, that's the thing that, you know, people may or may not understand. So you've got to ask for help. They're all standing around you just waiting. They're like, please. They're like, just ask me this. Just ask me. Just ask me. And you're like, can I get some help? And they're like, yes, we can help you.
You know, it's so true. And I'm like, why do we not know this sooner? Why are we afraid of tapping in? Why do we think that we're going to be crazy if we're alone in our bedroom and no one's watching? I'm like, hey, angels or ancestors, can you like help me out a little bit? And then you just start feeling it more and more and more. And like, I've been doing this like world of spirituality. It's January of 26. January 23, I woke up. Like January 13th, 2023 was my moment, my catalyst moment of the next day I heard spirits and voice of God. And I was like, oh no, what's happening? We good?
Do I need to get locked away or something?
But then it was peace. I went from deep, profound grief and sorrow and anger and couldn't stop crying for hours to peace and love and holy crap, there's more. Like in an instant. And it's like when you feel it, you never, ever want to go back because you're like, this is too good over here. I like this.
It feels amazing.
It does. So take me back to 2021 and kind of how your story was evolving, and you met your husband, you had your first date.
Yeah, no, that was a good first date. Yeah, no, met my husband, and, 2021, let me actually backtrack. So in December of 2020, I started, I had this tribe of people around me. There was literally called the tribe. And it seemed at the time that they were very all loving and supporting, on my spiritual journey. And I was obviously very supportive of them as well. And, I'm uncovering inner child healing and shadow work and all of these things. And I was introduced to this person that was a hypnotherapist and a Qigong master and mixed martial arts master and, all of these accolades. And I thought, okay, well, let me see what this person is about. And I decided to trade, do an energetic exchange of Reiki, because I was doing Reiki at the time, for, trying to uncover some childhood memories, because from all the trauma that I experienced, your brain does a really great job of protecting you. So I started seeing this person, and I remember that I was, under hypnosis, which, by the way, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. It's not like this person's, no. I was deep in meditation, and I remember all of a sudden I drop in and I look around, and there's, I guess you could call it like the Galactic Federation with like my archangels, my dad's there. Oh, wow. I mean, it was like, whoa, what is happening? And this is really my first experience of like seeing everything. And I remember that this, I guess we'll call him the graybeard, just looks at me and says, everything's going to be okay, but I want to tell you that your light is very bright and you're going to be under attack. And I'm like, how am I going to know? And they go, you're going to feel it in your stomach. And I was like, holy shit. So about this time, this person brings me out, and I'm just kind of dumbfounded because I've been feeling stomach pains for months. Yeah. Undiagnosed. No one knows what's wrong with me. And so I didn't really share that with this person because I felt like I really couldn't. For whatever reason, just said, yeah, that was cool. I saw some things, but I didn't really want to divulge. And it was my soul protecting me for a reason, but I didn't know this at the time.
Because when you're under hypnosis, you're not always necessarily sharing verbally every single thing that you're seeing. Like when I did the guided hypnosis with Lindsay Lee, I was sharing what I was seeing because she was asking and I trusted her. But if there was something I had heard that felt like a warning, I would have kept that to myself.
I sure shit did.
It's not like it's just like my brain is just transmuting everything to the person I'm with. There is choice of what I'm sharing. Yeah. So you were feeling choice of, I'm not going to share this. I'm going to keep this to myself.
Right. Major discernment was happening, but I didn't really know. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't want to share this, but okay. So I don't. And then I decided, I did the hypnotherapy, and so now it's time for me to do Reiki. So I'm doing Reiki on this person. And I've seen several people up until this point doing Reiki on them. So at that point, I felt like I had some pretty good experience going into it. And normally in a Reiki session, obviously I'm going to go through all of the chakras. And depending on where the blockages are, I'm going to revisit those chakras multiple times, maybe 3-4 tops. Okay. I kept going back to this person's heart chakra 22 times. And I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? And things just felt kind of off. But I didn't know why. You know, I'm still kind of like new into all of this. And just kind of kept it to myself. It's like, I feel so much better. Great, cool. See you a little bit later. But I couldn't bring myself to go back. I didn't know why. I just said, let's reschedule something, or let's schedule something in the next few weeks. No biggie. Well, this person from the tribe, now we're going to the tribe, the leader of the tribe, let's just, so we say, I'm going to keep this person nameless. I think that there's a lot of people that I know that know this person, so I'm going to keep this to myself. But she came over and she's like, something with you has changed. I don't know what it is, but something has changed. I'm like, I don't know. What are you talking about? And then she's like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But then she says the person's name. And this is the person that I did Reiki on, that I kept going back to the heart chakra for. And all of a sudden I felt these talons inside of my stomach. All of a sudden.
Just from saying the name?
Just from saying the name. It's like your soul recognized it. This is on like a soul level, right? And then the body is trying to catch up. So I immediately went into this tailspin of the worst panic attack I've ever had in my entire life. I remember just being like crunched up like this. I had the lobster hands, like nothing was moving, girlfriend, nothing. I couldn't even talk. My tongue felt swollen. I mean, I had never experienced anything like this in my entire life, and it was fucking terrifying. And so this person then needs to call my dear friend Carolyn and says, I think we need to do like some sort of psychic surgery on Kailee. Like I've never seen anything like this before. And so they did, and they start doing psychic surgery and pulling these talons out of me.
Getting a lot of energy from this conversation. I feel it.
It was intense. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my entire life. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, use your discernment, Kailee. People are not as they appear to be.
So your body was also not enjoying them working on you either then?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No. But I didn't know. Right. I'm going into this experience thinking that everyone that says that they're full of love and light really is truly, really full of love and light, and they're not.
And I think that, this is really important to kind of segue and mention the power of what a psychic attack is, what a spiritual attack is.
Yeah.
We live in a spiritual world. Spiritual warfare is real. It's what we're experiencing globally, in our country, individually, collectively. That's what this kind of is. It presents in different ways. And there's been a lot of topics we've talked about on this podcast. I've shared my story on Kristen's episode. I share what happened to me and the psychic attacks that the spiritual attacks that I experienced. And so I think this is, a really great opportunity for people who have maybe experienced these things and didn't know what it was to hear your story, because it seems unbelievable.
It's totally unbelievable.
This is real. Like this really happened. There's people, there's medical records to support it.
Yes.
And I think that it's just really important to know, like, yes, we have physical attacks that can happen that are explainable.
Totally.
And then there's some things that you can't physically explain that are in the spiritual realm.
And that was one of them, for sure. I mean, this person was literally trying to siphon my life force energy. And I didn't know it at the time. I just really didn't know it. But as soon as that person said their name, it was like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. And my body just responded in a way that it's never responded before. After that, people say, ground to protect your energy. And you're like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll do that. No, girl. It was like, okay, I am doing grounding visualizations. If my feet aren't in the grass, I'm doing the visualization where my feet grow roots and they grow deep into the earth's bedrock and wrap around the earth's core. And they drop this beautiful white healing light in through the soles of my feet and travel upward, penetrating every single cell. And then it shoots out the top of my head and I'm cocooned in white light. And then I do extra things where I envision mirrors facing outward like I'm a giant disco ball. And then I take these lasers and I kind of wrap it around me there too. And the reason I do that, the reason for the disco balls really is because, people don't necessarily like what they see. So their soul is looking at me, right? If someone is just giving me shit for no reason, it usually stops within a few moments.
Yeah.
Because people don't like what they see. And there are other people that love what they see. Right. I'm a mirror. Right. And some people do not like mirrors. So definitely since that experience, I have upped the spiritual hygiene for sure. And I use my discernment. You know, if there's a physical sensation that I feel around being someone or from being around someone, then I just kind of politely excuse myself.
It tells you everything you need to know.
It does. And I thought that I had to have it figured out and have like the logical part of my brain understand it in its entirety to make a decision of, yes, I'm going to be here or no, I'm not going to be here. It doesn't work that way with intuition. It's like, I can't explain it, but I'm just not going to do it. And there's a reason. And I listened to that. I listened to that inner guidance system.
Yeah, when I woke up, mine was about like someone I previously loved deeply and I thought loved me deeply. And then it shifted and turned and it was really, really dark, really, really dark. And I could feel it and it was making me so physically sick. I could not breathe, vomiting, like in a fetal position, panic attacks, like constantly. And I was like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why am I doing this? Like, what's happening? And then I was like, oh no, you're literally plotting to destroy my life. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I can feel that, by the way.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I see it. I feel it. I knew it. And it's like, oh, it turned out to be right. But my body was telling me before my mind even knew what was going on. My soul was, I had my angels were protecting me. I had all this, right? Like we have divine protection. This is inherently true.
1,000,000%.
But it makes you physically sick sometimes when you're not listening or you don't yet have discernment. You don't know.
Right.
How much more did this manifest in your life? Because this got kind of crazy.
It got super crazy, actually. So that was the first psychic attack. And then the second one, the woman that had helped me with the psychic surgery from the first psychic attack was a dear friend of mine at the time. Like talk about soul sister kind of a thing.
Yep.
And it was this relationship that it was so deep. I'd never been that connected or close with someone ever. And so, at the time, I had gotten engaged to my now husband, and her and I just things naturally kind of fell by the wayside. It wasn't personal. It was just vibrational. I was doing different things. She was doing different things. But I remember that, I remember her face because this showed up for me one day. Her face was right here, and she looked like a banshee, screaming at me. Her eyes were black. It's like her face was all hollowed out, and she was just screaming at me. And I knew in that moment, she's trying to psychically attack me. And so I immediately call in my angels. I put up this wall of protection around me, and I'm like, you are never going to hurt me again. You can try, and I know that you're going to try, but never again. And she has tried. She has tried, and she has tried. She has tried to spew lies about me. And that's fine. That's her gig, you know, but like, that's not my jam. You know, people that know me and love me, they do that for a reason. And people that don't like me, that's okay. I'm not meant for everybody.
Same.
I'm cool with that.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That is
cool.
totally fine.
I am totally cool with that.
Wow.
But I know that people are put into your lives for a reason. Yeah. They're there to teach you a lesson, to provide a blessing. So I just kind of morphed it into a blessing, you know, like things that are painful, but there's also so much beauty afterward too.
I mean, because it shifted everything for you, right?
Totally.
And like, I think the spiritual attacks for me were like, oh my God, there's more than I understood. It is not all light and love. The shadow is so incredibly real. And like, by the way, you know, the protection is incredibly important because it does help. And I had so many of you guys, Barbara helped me, Bonnie helped me.
Yeah.
I literally called upon like the spiritual badasses who are much older than I am. And I'm like, what do I do? And then they would give me this divine guidance and it would help. They would clear out any kind of, entities in my home or in me and my family. Yeah. And they were able to see certain things that I couldn't see because I wasn't skilled enough. But I never knew that existed until I went through it myself.
Exactly.
And so now I'm like, oh, it's very real.
It's very real.
Like, let's just share the knowledge of this is very real.
It's totally real.
But it's nothing to fear and be afraid of. Just be aware of it.
Right. Just be aware of it, you know, because the body, the soul, even the universe, you know, they'll nudge you every now and again, right? It's when we don't listen that those knocks get louder and harder.
And you're like, are you listening yet?
Right. And you're like,
And I'm like, yes, I'm literally having a demonic attack in front of 7 strangers in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm listening.
Yeah. I'm forced to listen. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like having them like too long didn't read for me, for anyone who hasn't listened to Kristen's episode. is where I had several different like dark entities kind of attacking my body over a period of time. I had one that was recorded. Oh, I'm vibrating telling the story. Whew, makes me nervous still to share it.
It's okay. Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like, it was so scary to walk through and so real that to share it and speak it into the ether. And like, even though I'm in a room with you just by myself, I know eventually this is going to be public, but at the same time, I want people to know that there's two sides of this coin, right? And when you go through the spiritual healing, sometimes you go into such a low vibrational state. Like we've talked about how I was struggling to want to be here. And in that energy, lower vibrational entities can attack and attach to you.
1,000,000%.
And then pull you down, right? And then when you get so high vibrational that like nothing can touch you anymore, you're like, oh, okay, this is different. You can still try, but haha, I love you, go away. And that love energy is more protective than the fear energy of listening to it. But for me, it was, like at one point, like Cole was holding me down. Like I was recording it and I didn't know why. Like only one person's ever seen this other than me and Cole. And I was almost like barrel rolling him, and he's stronger than me. And I'm like feeling pushed and pulled and up and out, and I'm crying and I'm scared. And I start calling on like someone who helped me earlier in the day, and she's like literally speaking Latin. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I'm like re-saying the Latin, and I play the Kelly Clarkson music, and like this high vibe music just helped it flee. And every time it would attack me, I knew the name of it sometimes. Like the one was I don't say its name, but it's a B with a bub, right? And that one was really hard because my at the time, my 4 or 5-year-old daughter saw it. She could see. Yeah. And she was like, got sage, and she's saging me, and she's like, Mommy, it's on your head. And it's like kind of clawing and growling, and it's not me. I'm not there. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm freaking out. My family's freaking out. Right. And like, you feel so out of control. And then in Salt Lake City, Utah, I went to my first spiritual bestie weekend, and I had mentioned it on night 1 that I had some things that were happening that were darkness. And like Brittany Renee was like, oh, this might be an issue this weekend. And she's a shaman. And so she does all this like energy. She's cleared darkness out before. Good. And so I think I was already in the back of her mind. And then we were doing some just energy work and doing Reiki and healing. And I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, but we were doing kind of spiritual surgery with consent, and it was clearing out all this darkness. And whatever was on me, like literally grabbed me, pull me back, almost slam me into a granite table. The couch split into 2 pieces. I'm on the floor. I'm being lifted up and dropped physically in my body. And then everyone, like all newbies, I'm vibrating so bad. All newbies, and no one was really tapped into their gifts yet. We were just like, we knew we had something happening. We wanted to meet each other. Everyone anchors in different parts of the room. And Brittany's on top of me. And at one point I lift up. She is like, Amber, find the pillar of light. I'm like, what the fuck does a pillar of light even mean? What are you talking about? How do I light it? What is a pillar of light? Yeah. And I saw this speck of light, and I was like, okay, I think that's it. I'm going to hold on to it. And I held it. And at one point it lifts me up. I'm like arched back, and my eyes are closed. I remember my eyes were closed the whole time. And I said to Brittany, you can't have her. And she goes, like hell I can't. And so then she starts doing all this energy work, and like everyone is doing everything they need to do. And she says it shoots out of me and goes in the corner. And it's like a 10-foot tall black apparition. And then like puts it in a portal. It sounds crazy, but puts it in a portal and shoots it away and closes it and seals it. Yep. And then I come back down, I collapse, and I slam my head on the ground, on the hard floors. And I'm just crying. I wake up, I'm embarrassed. And I'm like, what the hell just happened to me? You know? I'm shaking. It's okay. And it's scary to tell that story because it was such a monumental moment for me, and my awakening was, holy shit, there's light and there is dark. And the dark hates the light.
Right. And one cannot exist without the other.
It's contrast, it's duality. It literally serves purpose, and you have to give gratitude to it because it literally accelerated my healing. But man, was that something to walk through. And so
it's terrifying.
It's different for every person, but then we're dancing like 5 minutes later in the grass. We're like, we're free. And like, this is this is what we came for. Lightning. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what I came for, is to clear out the darkness and to be the light. I'm not afraid anymore. Right. And it only happened 1 or 2 more times, but we're the light, and this is what we came for. Absolutely. Right. It's just so beautiful. And I thank you for sharing, your story. There's so much more to still share, but like, this is real. It's is totally real.
Yeah, it is.
And it feels supernatural. Because it is.
I was going to say it is supernatural. And I mean, people don't realize this, but, I mentioned earlier, I had my own complicated relationship with alcohol. And, alcohol opens up your lower chakras, your masculine chakras. And that's where entities can enter. I mean, I'm sure anybody that's drank alcohol has experienced a blackout. That's not you, that's them.
And the spirits, right? We're going to go get our spirits. It's the
Right.
spirit of alcohol.
Yeah.
The spirit of tequila is different than the spirit of vodka, is different than the spirit of beer. Like they all have different energies.
They do. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, alcohol is used to extract, you know, or actually used to make tinctures, you know, herbal tinctures. You know, it does definitely have its purpose. And I am thankful for that. However, you know, it's not something to mess around with. If you're going to drink alcohol, then bless it. Be in a high state, bless it. You know, like
It's
when
so
you start
beautiful.
losing control, like if you start to feel that way, stop.
Yeah.
Stay here. Don't allow them to suck your life force energy because
Yeah.
that's their goal. That's their objective.
And alcoholism runs in my family and in so many
Same.
of the families that I've interviewed, and like within each of the individual people, I have people who have not been an alcoholic in 10 years, 20 years, 1 year. And they're like, when I was consumed by alcohol, I was a different person.
A million
It
percent.
brought out demons. It brought out darkness.
Yes.
It brought out rage. It brought out all these different things that are so low vibrational. Is that what you were kind of experiencing too? Were you already giving
Yeah.
up alcohol as you awoken? Or?
No, I mean, I was still drinking, not as heavily, but I was still drinking socially. But you know, meanwhile, I was drinking and having fun. I wasn't realizing all of the chaos that was happening inside of my body.
Yeah.
And so, you know, after the psychic attack from, you know, the bestie at the time, we don't speak anymore,
Right.
obviously, you know, life kind of continued and, life was pretty good. I had this great, sales job at a tech company. I was still doing Reiki with the Mystic Mercantile and exploring different modalities, and life felt really, really good. And my husband and I were married in March of 2023. And about a month later, things started happening to me and my body that weren't normal. They just weren't. I'd have severe abdominal pain. I mean, and just sharing my truth. I mean, I was having some strange, you know, vaginal discharge and like didn't know what was wrong. I went to 3 different gynecologists. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. I went to a GI doctor. They're like, we don't know what's wrong, but you know, we really need you to just go get a colonoscopy. And the thought of like surgery and being under, you know, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to keep, you know, taking my herbal remedies.
Right.
And, you know, at that point I had been working with my naturopath and an acupuncturist. And I thought, I don't know what's going on with me, but like, I feel okay, but obviously I'm not okay. And so that was like in April of 23. And then in July of 23, you know, over those past few months, things got progressively worse. And I didn't know what was happening to me. So I finally went to a colorectal surgeon and did a bunch of imaging. And they discovered that I had, I think what they saw on the imaging was like 2 or 3 different fistulas. And if you don't know what they are, they're tunnels that connect one organ to another. So there were fistulas from my sigmoid colon, which is like the last part of your colon, going straight into my uterus.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And talk about being gaslit from the medical community. My gynecologists were like, there's no way that is that. Like, you're healthy, you know, your vitals are fine. Like, this is impossible. And I'm like,
It's obviously not impossible.
it's obviously not impossible. Thank God for the surgeon. I mean, you know, we weren't BFFs or anything, but he got me the answers that I needed. And so I had, I was scheduled for surgery, and it was on the fall equinox in September of 23. And I remember being absolutely terrified. And the surgeon said, everything's going to be okay. You're little. It'll take it's normally a 4-hour surgery. It's going to take maybe 2.5 tops. We're going to wheel you out. Everything's going to be fine. Nothing to fear. I said, okay. So called in my guides, you know, archangels of light, angels of light, the whole team. And I said, protect me. And they did. And
reminder, your guides in meditation or in the trance of the hypnosis were like, listen for the GI upset, like anything that was going to tie to GI. So it's all still tied together.
Yeah. And I had, you know, stomach problems on and off, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember having a bowel movement and there was blood. And, my husband was like, maybe it's just like an external hemorrhoid. Cause I didn't have any other weird sensation. I wasn't having the pain or nothing. Yeah. Wow. So I go into surgery and, my mom and my husband are watching the screen and says, okay, closing up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It was about 2 hours. Great. Right on target. Opening up. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And no one gave him answers for another 6.5 hours. And so I was in surgery for 8.5 hours and the doctor walks out and he's just like beside himself. And they're like, and the reason why I get so emotional about it is because I remember my mom and my husband telling me, they're like, we thought you died. Like, we thought you were gone because of the way he walked out. And he said, things didn't go as expected. And they're just like, okay, what does that mean?
Get to the point.
Yeah. And he's like, well, we had to do an ostomy, which is basically where they cut off or just separate the section between your small and your large intestine, and they pull it outside of you. It's like your ileum, and there's a bag that's attached. And he said, I thought this was going to be a very, straightforward surgery. And we got in there and we realized that endometriosis had completely enveloped her bowels.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And, which would explain, now I realize, what was happening, all those stomach flare-ups that I was having were really endometriosis flare-ups. I see this now. It's bowel endometriosis. So
endometriosis, I have it. It's so incredibly painful. To be gaslit by the gynecology community.
Oh yeah. I was gaslit for years from the gynecology community. Oh, you have heavy periods, no big deal. Just get on birth control. And I mean, birth control really did suppress what was going on. Right. But the alcohol didn't help and the red meat didn't help. That was just fueling the fire. That was, but, wow. I remember waking up and the nurse did not have the greatest bedside manner and was like, okay, well, you're coming to, you got an ostomy. Someone's going to be by in the morning to help show you how to, change your bag. And I just thought, oh my God, my life is over.
Yeah.
I feel like at that moment, I felt like a freak. I did. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I did. I felt like, what the fuck? Who am I? What does this life look like? I have this bag that I have to change every day. And this is where my waste comes out. I felt like a fucking freak. And I was in the hospital for about 5 days. And I remember I had visitors come and, people want to be polite and they went, how are you feeling? And you want to show face and be like, oh, I'm doing okay. And I remember looking at people and I said, I'm determined. They kind of looked at me weird. What are you determined? I said, I'm determined to live and I'm determined to get home. Because up until this point, even the surgeon said, I'm surprised she's alive. I'm surprised she didn't turn septic with everything that was happening. Because they ended up removing about 3 feet of my large intestine and most of my rectum and about 1.5 feet of small intestine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So instead of it going like a square, your large intestine, mine kind of goes like a triangle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was nuts. And so learning to live with an ostomy was strange and new and terrifying. And I remember speaking to my therapist and she goes, it's just a season, Kailee. I promise you're going to get through this. This is temporary. In 3 months, they're going to revisit it to see if, your body is healed enough to be able to do the reversal. So I just get, used to having the bag, and then it was time for the reversal. And it happened on the winter solstice. So literally, it's just truth bumps about it. Literally, it was a season in my life that I didn't understand. I didn't know. But it happened. So, people, I say this really humbly for people that look at someone and think that their life is together or they're not sick. People are struggling. They have their own struggles. And so never, ever judge a book by its cover, because from the outside, I looked like I was holding my shit together, but really I was just crumbling. But I kept having this faith, this undeniable trust and faith that everything's going to be okay. I can't explain it, but I know everything's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And it was so easy, right? The ego, the earth guide only, the humanness in us wants to say, why is this happening to me? Don't get me wrong, I said that quite a few times. But then I shifted to like, what is this trying to teach me? And it was trying to teach me that no matter what happens in your life, that everything, thank you, it's going to be okay. It's here by design. Let's just keep on rolling. Let's just keep on going. And so I did. And, you know, since all of this kind of shit hit the fan after my husband and I got married, we never had a honeymoon. I was like having a surgery and then getting better and then having another surgery and then recovering from that because, you know, life looks different when you have parts of you that are missing.
Yeah.
You know, things, you know, I loved community and the, you know, community around food and going out to eat. And, you know, after my reversal, things totally changed for me where I was terrified to go out because I didn't know when I needed to go to the bathroom, if I had access to a bathroom, because just you didn't know when it was going to hit, you know? And so that opened up a whole new level of anxiety, right? And that's where I started learning about the nervous system piece of it because I'm like, okay, I'm taking the tinctures, I'm eating organic, I'm doing the Reiki, I'm doing all of the things. I mean, people were throwing their spiritual toolbox at me and I was digging down deep in mine and things were getting better, but not where I needed it to be. And that's when I was like, oh, we have a nervous system. What's this about?
Right.
Oh, I'm stuck in fight or flight. Oh, there's something called the vagus nerve and it's got to be stimulated so I can shift into rest and digest. And that really has helped tremendously. It's the nervous system piece.
It's literally game changing.
Like,
we were talking about this before we started, is like, there's probably a reason that we're not taught about the vagus nerve and taught how to regulate our own nervous systems. And like, here's a pill for that. And there's this and this, and here's thousands of dollars for this. And I'm like, or you can gargle some water, ice water, which we both did beforehand.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah.
We did butterfly tappings before we started.
Yes.
My heart was racing just because I knew I felt the energy of this interview and it has been everything that I've hoped for and more. And I was like, okay, take some deep breaths, do a humming breath. We put our hand on our heart, hand on our belly. We literally did ear circles and peace fingers all before we started.
Yeah.
And then we both downshifted.
Absolutely.
And we felt regulated. And that's what I'm doing with being an occupational therapist and doing the caregiver healing program and helping these kids, is because we are literally helping you access your God-given nervous system. And it's free. Like services are not free, but your nervous system is free.
Right. Breathing's free. Tapping's free. Gargling's free. So taking a walk.
We go on the internet and for free on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, we share, here's what you can do. You don't have to have a lot of money to do the things that we do. And when you started doing the vagus nerve stimulation and breath work and meditation, did you find that your entire nervous system state really did shift from sympathetic fight and flight and freeze and fawn into parasympathetic rest and digest? Did you feel that shift happen pretty rapidly?
I did. I will tell you too that by doing nervous system work, what I didn't realize is that I was feeling really raw. And I thought, okay, I'm doing all of the thing. Now I'm doing all the nervous system things. And of course it was very helpful, but what I didn't realize, I do now, but what I didn't realize at the time was that, you know, the body does keep score and it's by repetition, right? And so as I'm shifting my nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic and I'm doing all of these cues and all of these things, it takes repetition because the body's like, okay, cool. I'm now not overstimulated, but give me 5 minutes and I'm going to be spiraling again.
Right, because it's like a muscle. You have to increase vagal tone. And the more you increase vagal tone, it's like having your biceps be toned. But like you can't go to the gym one time and be like, I did it. Look at my biceps. They look solid. Like, oh, they're swollen because you just worked and lifted some heavy weights. But then tomorrow's, my ears are ringing so loud. Tomorrow, you're going to come back and you're going to feel a little bit weak again. You need to keep strengthening this muscle. And the vagus nerve is no different. It's the largest nerve in your body. It's the 10th cranial nerve. It goes from your brain all the way down your ears, your neck, your throat, which you helped me clear my throat chakra. And you did Reiki on me before we started because I'm coughing all of a sudden. It goes down into the heart, which is where you have the heart racing. And this is when you can put an ice pack on your chest and bring your heart rate down. And it goes all the way down into your gut. Yeah. It is the wandering nerve for a reason. And it is in control of so much, but it does require repetition. It requires consistency in order to actually leave that lasting impact. And I'm just so excited to I could talk about this all day.
I could too. I really could, especially after learning about it. My friend Brandy, well, you know Brandy.
I love me some Brandy.
Yeah, I do too, man. She's amazing. Love you, Brandy.
Shout out, Brandy.
Yeah. We co-created a nervous system workshop together, and we did it at Heartstone it was back in November.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was trying to find stillness in the holiday chaos, and it was a small group of us, and I love that everybody walked away with something new. I mean, we had a physical therapist in there. We had an acupuncturist. I mean, we had a lot of people that knew a lot about the nervous system that were like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let's put this into practice, and different somatic practices that we did too. So now it's like this nervous system piece is a true passion of mine.
Oh, I love it.
Now that I've discovered it, I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I want to tell everybody about it.
So honestly, like it just really is the thing that put me into the next level of healing.
Yeah.
Was leaning into my own body.
Yes.
And listening and breathing. How often are we just like holding our breath?
All the time.
And like, oh, I should probably breathe.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize that we're not taught to breathe, you know? I mean, and just even doing extended exhales, something as simple as making your exhale longer than your inhale will shift. Like, that's it?
Yep.
What? That's it? That's literally it.
You can get out of that survival brain in the
Yes.
back of your brain, right? Everything that keeps you alive because you feel like there's a lion chasing you, but really
Right.
it's your deadline at work or your emails you don't want to check or your
Exactly.
kids' homework,
Yes.
right? And then it brings you into your prefrontal cortex where you can actually have logical thinking and be less cloudy and foggy. And like I think everybody's living in fight or flight for the most part.
Everyone. And they don't even know it.
No.
And then, you know, when they start recognizing that they are living in fight or flight, then they've got this whole body literally of emotions that have been suppressed for God knows how long, that people are working through too. So, and that's what with the somatic piece, that's why I like, it's something called the RAIN method that I use. So, you know, before therapy, I was like, yeah, I feel this or I feel that, but I didn't really understand my feelings.
Like talk therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand my feelings. And so now it's like when a situation arises, it's like I use the RAIN method. So I recognize what I'm feeling and then I acknowledge it. And P.S., they only last 90 seconds, emotions do. That's it. Like if you keep crying, maybe you're not closing the stress loop response, and that's okay, you know, but just know that it's 90 seconds. That's it, y'all. And then you investigate, you get a little curious about it. Okay, where am I feeling this feeling of anger or frustration or sadness? I'm gonna try and find it where I'm feeling it in my body. Does my chest feel constricted? Does my stomach feel tight? You know, what is that? And then you nurture it.
Yep.
And you're like, it's okay, I'm safe. And it's okay to feel the way that I feel. And I'm honored and I'm glad that this emotion is finally arising. Because if not, it was just buried deep under everything else.
It's so beautiful. And I tell the moms that I work with who are really working through nervous system dysregulation of having extra needs kids. And it's like the whole family is going through so much, right? And there's like real live stress that's every single day that you can't turn off.
No.
In the special needs community. And I'm like, observe how you're feeling. Like, and it's different. I didn't call it the RAIN method, but now I will. Let's observe it, allow yourself to feel it, integrate that, and then let it go without judgment. Because I think so many times we're like, oh, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad. And then like you judge that. You're judging why you're mad at yourself. Like, what am I feeling? I'm like, oh, I have shame that I'm feeling sad. I'm like, no, girl, feel your feelings, cry, let it out. It's energy. Emotion is just energy in motion.
That's it.
That's all it is. Move that shit. Go dance. Go do whatever you need to do. Put on some good music. Like I love music. It's kind of how I move my body the most. Shake it out. Do some do some Tai Chi out in the grass. Like sway your body. Like there's something to this.
Yes.
And the more I started like just moving my body to give an outlet versus staying stagnant and doom scrolling in a fetal position in my bed in the dark, the better I felt.
Yes.
The better I felt.
Yeah.
But we're not taught this.
No, and that's all by
purpose.
design. I was going to say that's all by design because they want to keep us, you know, dumb and numb and all of the other things.
Oh, because then you're more of a consumer because you're just always trying to like buy the next thing that's going to help make you feel better versus actually going within and finding the light within yourself and knowing that you're fully capable of healing your body.
Right.
You know, and tribe is so important and finding community because you said like you had all these healers, these naturopaths and Reiki practitioners and who are all trying to help you and throwing their spiritual tools at you and you're accepting it and you're doing your own, but then it's like, sometimes it just takes like, let me look into something that's a little bit more. And you're like, oh, there's polyvagal theory. What are you about?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, this is where it's like a secret little piece. And I'm like, why did it take me until I was 37 years old to learn about polyvagal theory? Like, I don't understand how we got here as a society, but I'm hoping that this podcast like shines light into what you can do. Cause what you walked through and having your bowels be outside of your body and like how you feel and how you look and how you experience life is now completely different.
Mm-hmm. It is. And
so after that winter solstice, was it reversed?
Yeah. So it was reversed on the winter solstice.
Completely reversed.
Yeah. So the ostomy, it's one of those things, if you give it a name, it's something to help familiarize yourself with it. And so, it was Ozzy the ostomy.
Ozzy the ostomy bag.
So I said goodbye to Ozzy and, tucked it right back in and zipped me back up. And, like I said, life's been different, definitely the anxiety piece of, going out to eat, all of that. But the nervous system piece does help that a lot. So
your life didn't necessarily continue as super easy after that. Things were maybe settling out and like you're having, peace.
It was awful. It was
awful. To soften it. You're like, no,
girlfriend, it was awful. I mean, like after surgery, I was going to the bathroom like 50 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was nuts, like everything I put in my body, it was like, nope, we're getting rid of it. I mean, it's taken years. Like I'm just now feeling like, okay, I can do this. It took a while. It really, really did. And that's, I'm involved in some Facebook groups with ostomies and ostomy reversals. And I tell people, look, like this is a journey, and the number one piece of advice that I give them, which a lot of people don't like to hear, is be gentle with yourself. Mm-hmm. This is not a quick fix. Your body has to relearn how to do a lot of things.
Right.
And so giving it grace, when you're disgusted with it and fed up with it is pretty challenging. Mm-hmm. But it's that shift of like, hey, I love my body. You're safe. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And that's what's been really huge.
I'm so proud of you for just finding your light through all of this and not...
It was hard.
Not becoming the darkness where it's just like you're consumed by it and you're like, woe is me, the victim mindset. You're just like, nope, I'm just going to keep on trucking.
I was determined.
Because you were determined.
I was damned and determined. And so it's, like I said, it's been a journey, but, after the reversal, Robin and I were talking about, a honeymoon. And I thought, man, just give me a year to wrap my brain around 2 surgeries in 3 months of each other. Like, I don't want to travel. The thought of getting on a plane and then having to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
No, thanks.
Oh, an airplane bathroom?
Yeah, dude. They're like, this big. No way.
No.
But we started talking about our honeymoon in late 2024, and we decided to go to Scotland in March of 2025 to celebrate our wedding anniversary. And then also, we have some really good friends there that were also getting married. So it was going to be like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Like go watch our best friends get married and then go and enjoy our honeymoon. And so we're super stoked about it. I'm excited. I'm all hopped up on Imodium. Like I am ready to take this trip.
I deeply relate to that.
Yeah. And, it was so, when your soul speaks to you, it really does. And that morning I had such severe anxiety and I did not know where it was coming from. I mean, like tears anxiety, and I couldn't explain it, and I actually saw my naturopath who gave me a remedy for fear, and which did help, but she's like, it's going to be okay. I promise you, everything's going to be okay. And I'm like, I feel something. I just can't put my finger on it. Mm-hmm. So we get to the airport and we're so excited. We have some dinner and scan our boarding passes. We're in the tunnel to get on to the plane,
Yeah.
And I've got my carry-on. I've got my big ass coat and my jacket. That's my jacket. Yeah, my jacket, my backpack, and my carry-on. And so does my husband. And they say, excuse me, sir, can you step aside and come with us? And I'm like, what? What's going on? There's 2 law enforcement individuals that are like, saying, hey, you need to come with us. And I'm like, what is this all about? Like, we're boarding a flight for our honeymoon, And they're like, well, we need to take him in. There was a warrant from 16 years ago. We need to get cleared up, kind of a thing that he thought he had already taken care of. And it was alcohol related, funny enough. And I was just like, holy shit, this is why I was feeling such anxiety.
Your body knew.
My body freaking knew. My soul knew, but like the logical brain didn't know. It's just like, okay, maybe I'm just being kind of anxious. No big deal, And so I remember I board the plane. I've got his backpack, his London fog coat, his carry-on, all my stuff. I mean, I just look like a pack rat. and I'm trying to hold back the tears. And I remember the flight attendant said, hi there, is everything okay? And I'm like, no. And I'm like really trying hard because I know that as soon as I say something, I'm just going to bleh.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And being sensitive to energy, I never want to like vomit on people, when it comes to my emotions.
Yeah.
So I was really trying to be very cognizant of that. Sometimes you just can't help it. And so I go, he helps me to my seat. This other flight attendant comes over and says, is everything okay? And I lose it on the poor woman. I'm like, no, everything's not okay. My husband's supposed to be sitting here. We're supposed to be going on our honeymoon. I had surgery a couple of years ago, and this is why we waited, because I was sick. I mean, I just let her have it. It came out. She's like, well, can I get you a glass of wine? And I thought, oh God, yeah, that sounds great. And I was like, no, actually that doesn't sound great. So I was like, can I just have some chamomile tea? So 10 chamomile teas later, I was feeling pretty good. And I remember the turbulence on the plane. And I hate turbulence, and I'm not a big fan of flying. And I remember the plane dropping out of the sky and going side to side. And I thought, all right, this is it. This is it, y'all. I'm ready. You want to take me down this way? Go for it. I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. And we didn't fall out of the sky. I made it to Scotland eventually, and by myself. And I remember renting, it was the last automatic car in the car lot at Aberdeen Airport. Thank God. Because driving on the left side of the road was already going to be like a big clusterfuck anyway. And then it was like, oh, now I'm going to do a stick shift? No way, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Like everyone else, good luck with your lives if I have to.
Yeah. And things like, 2 days before the rental car that we had, because my husband has a standard vehicle, so he was going to drive the whole time. It just canceled for whatever reason. Like, so all these things. Yeah, girl. I was like, okay. So I go to Scotland. I'm thinking, my husband's going to be here eventually. He's going to be here for, our friend's wedding. And I realized that he was not going to make it. And then it was like, okay, well, what do I do? I'm in a foreign country all by myself. We had this beautiful cottage on Loch Ness in the rural Highlands. And I thought, maybe I'll just, play it safe and stay here with my friends who are getting married and, just kind of explore Aberdeen. And I thought, no, give it all you got.
Did you go eat, pray, love that shit?
Oh, I fucking did. I did. I eat, pray, love that shit real hard. I thought, okay, you're going to do this. So I got in the car at 10 and 2, and I had to sing a song about, you're driving on the left side of the road. Because seriously, your brain, it's habitual. You want to get in the right side of the car and, do all the things and drive on the right side of the road. And so I sang a song for 3 hours from Aberdeen to the rural Highlands, reminding myself that,
You're so cute. I sang a song.
I did. I had to sing a song. And then, oh my God, I don't know about you, but like roundabouts. Oh man, I've not had a fondness of them. So then try to do that reverse. And people are going fast, by the way. I mean, I thought I was going to die. I didn't. I did not. I was like, okay. And I'm like trying to butterfly tap and breathe my way through this stuff. And
your angels are working overtime.
Oh yeah. They were like smoking cigarettes left and right. They're like, man, this woman. But it was through, divine grace that I did it. And I remember I finally arrived at the cottage and went, and it was cold. I mean, it was probably in like the 30s or 40s. And I got there just before dark. And I remember going down the stairs and sticking my feet into the lock and feeling like, okay, you have arrived, Kailee. Like, just rock this shit. And I did. So I got out of my comfort zone. I went to the falls and just traveled around, and it was absolutely incredible. And I got to see the Picts were this ancient tribe that I guess originated from Scotland. And I remember going to this church that was from like the 1500s, and they had the stones. And I remember putting my hands on them, and this vibration was absolutely incredible. I mean, I remember feeling the energy in Scotland, and the two words that I can tell you is that it's ancient and it's sacred. It felt like home to me. Like, I know that I've had a past life in Scotland. I actually did a past life regression, and that's a whole nother episode, but it was absolutely incredible. So I know it's like, okay, Kailee, you've gone through getting your guts ripped out, putting you back together, getting on a flight by yourself, going to a foreign country by yourself, and I mean, I just feel like I can do absolutely anything.
You're indestructible.
It feels that way. Don't get me wrong. I love to be like, coddled and feeling safe and all these things and nurtured, and I need a soft blanket and stuff. But I know I can do anything.
You're the phoenix.
Yeah. And that's what it was. It felt like the phoenix rising, this igniting of this inner fire that I didn't know that I had, but Source had shown me, my angels, time and time again, it's here. It's here. Just keep going. Just keep going. You're going to get through it. It feels like the sky is falling and that things are just not working out, but they are.
They are.
They are. And
everything is always working out for your highest and greatest good,
it is.
Even when it doesn't look like it or feel like it.
Oh, girl, yeah.
Like that, like the idea of not having your husband for your honeymoon is like the most gut-wrenching thing you could ever imagine, right?
Yeah, totally.
But then it's what your soul needed. And I think, from what we talked about, it's what he needed too, to have a life change as well.
Yes.
To kind of, and then it makes his life more rich. It makes your life together more rich.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got home from Scotland, I said, look, this trip has put a lot of things into perspective for me. And at that time I had stopped drinking because I was having such terrible physical effects from alcohol. My body didn't process it the same way, and it just hurt. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not drinking anymore. So I can't tell you the last time I had a drink. But I told him, I said, look, if this trip has taught me one thing, it's that I know I'm going to be okay. And so here is my ask of you. And I said, I want to go to couples counseling, and I want you to quit drinking, because he was using alcohol as a coping mechanism to deal with his anxiety.
As so many Americans and humans do.
It's easy. It's accessible. It's glorified, right? I mean, you've got the mom circle with it's wine night. It's this and that. I was like, man, stop. But, through all this trip, I mean, he's completely transformed his life. He's been sober for over 9 months now and working the program. And, with all of this legal situation, I mean, they've really thrown the book at him. I mean, he's having to go to outpatient rehab, supportive rehab, drug and alcohol classes, had his license revoked for, 3 months. I mean, it has been a journey.
Yeah.
But it's so rewarding and fulfilling too.
His soul needed it too.
It so did.
And it's like, this will turn out for his highest and greatest good. And it might not always feel like it. Like I'm telling you right now, it does not feel very beautiful when you're in the trenches of it.
Right.
But then when you reach the other side and you're like, all right, maybe I learned a lot along the way. And then the 12 steps are so deeply spiritual.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's like, I don't remember what step, you were saying that he was in, but it's just like, these are the most meaningful things that happen to us that put us on the path. It's like this life's rejection is God's redirection or whatever, right?
It totally is. It totally is. And I see life like that, like for Robin, he's working the steps. He's on the 8th one, which I believe is all about making amends. And from what I understand, that's like the longest step, but he's so much better for it. He really is. Our relationship is so much better now that there's no alcohol involved, because alcohol is a way of bringing out things about ourselves that we like, but not necessarily like either. And so then there's shadow work and shadow integration that comes from that too. So it's been a journey, but it's well worth it. Absolutely.
And I think this entire conversation, you're seeing this duality between the contrast of light and dark, right? Like, and every other breath, it's like, well, this is extremely dark, but then this is very light.
Yeah.
And when you're walking through it, it is kind of sometimes hard to be like, when is it going to get better? Like, especially when you had your ostomy, like, wait, why me? Yeah. How long has this been going on for? Who's going to help me? Like, how am I actually going to get to the other side of this?
Right.
And it feels very desperate. But that's when I felt like I called on my angels and God more.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
And then I found more light. The more in the darkest depths of hell, I found the brightest light. 100%. And what was really interesting? I had a channel message that came through this week, and I shared it on TikTok. But to paraphrase, it was, every single soul who finds the light walk through the darkness to discover it.
Amen, sister.
Right?
Yeah.
And like every single person who chooses to be engulfed in the darkness right now will be given a choice at some point in time, and you will find the light, and you will either choose to embrace it or choose to shun and ignore it. It's a choice, and every choice is valid.
1,000,000%.
Because every soul is learning, and it is not up to me to decide what that soul is here to learn. It literally has nothing to do with me. Nope. What you choose and what I choose might be very different, and how we get there or the time frame for which we get there. There's no race. There's no right answer. it's soul alignment and what your soul has chosen to do. And my soul has come to be this bright, shining light. And I'm like, hi, I guess I'm doing a podcast. Light beyond the ashes. I found my light beyond my own ashes.
Yes,
and then
did.
I'm here to shine the light into other people's stories because you are also rising from your own ashes.
I am.
And just being this beacon of hope that so many people need. And it's like, the world is going through a mass global spiritual awakening at a rapid rate.
I know.
It is unfolding in a way that I saw this 3 years ago, and I'm sure there's people who saw it 10, 20, 30 years ago. I woke up and I was shown what would happen.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my husband, Cole, about it last night, and I was like, hey, so like now that we're here, and I told you things would be transpiring in a certain way, especially in our country, could you have believed me a year or two ago that this was going to happen in this way? He's like, I really couldn't see how it could move this fast.
And it has.
And it has. And it's only going to continue to speed up.
Yes.
And it's going to be like, they told me it was going to be like the speed of light, like Mach healing of everyone right now. It's going to be so fast. They're going to need us.
Right.
They're going to need the lighthouses. They're going to need to be shown like, hey, I know it's a lot. We walked through it. It's bumpy. That's why I share the darkness in these podcasts.
Right.
It's because we've walked through it and we are the way showers, not better or worse. Just we've gone through some things. We've gotten some tools. We know how to regulate your nervous system.
Right.
We know how to do Reiki.
Yeah. We can do some Reiki. We can do all the things. Yeah.
And we are here to help you. You know, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're literally light workers.
Yeah. And you know, that's a funny thing too, is that I don't know about you, but I thought that I had to have it all figured out. I had to be somewhat of like a guru for people to love and respect me, especially when it comes to the different healing modalities and energy medicine. And the thing that I've realized is that people don't want a guru. They want someone to say, hey, take my hand. Let's get through this together. And that's been life-changing for me. That imposter syndrome, you know, to like, oh, wait, I don't have to have it all figured out?
Oh, or the whole idea that you have to be healed before you help heal people?
I thought that too. No, dude. No, it's an ever-evolving journey, right?
I'm going to be healing until I'm gone from this world, until I'm transcended to another time and space, right?
Yeah.
But what I can do is I can rise my vibrational frequency for that which miracles happen, because they happen.
Leave room for them, sister.
Leave room and believe in them and they will come.
Yep.
And then also when you have a higher vibrational frequency, it emanates into the field and people feel it.
Yes, they do.
And I think that's what was really healing. Like I don't have this ego of I'm a healer and I'm hamana, I'm healing you. It's more of I have access to frequency for which healing can occur at. And should you be interested in, you will experience this as well. And as you raise your vibrational frequency, then people will experience you.
Right.
And there is healing in the peace and
there
the
is.
love. It's love frequency. It's what Reiki is.
It's
love.
It's divine love. And I just get to be blessed to be a divine channel for it.
So what piece of advice do you have for the newly awakened souls or awakening souls who are curious about what the hell is going on in their body, their mind, their soul?
I would tell them, I see you. It's going to be okay. And hold on to your panties, because just when you think you have stuff figured out, you don't.
No.
But that's the beauty of it too. You know, is that we're always learning. We're always evolving if you choose to evolve.
Yeah.
You know, this whole I am the way I am because I am, that's bullshit. That doesn't resonate with me. I'm a curious human being. Like, let's get better. Let's evolve. Let's do this together. So even though there's thunderstorms, there's darkness, just know that there's always light beyond that. After the thunderstorm is always the sunshine. You know, there's always the rainbow. And those periods of darkness, you know, can feel like eternity. I get it. I know that. But I also know that the sunshine feels really, really good. And then it's always on the other side of that. And all I got to do is ask for help.
Yeah. In the darkest night, the sun will always rise.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's like the peace and the freedom, the liberation of my soul that I have experienced through this awakening to meet people like you who are just so soul aligned. And we become soul family.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, how many conversations? We've had 2. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you and I want you. You are now mine. Like the way that I connect with humans now is inherently different.
Yes.
And it feels so deep and profound and not, hey, how's the weather? It's how's your soul? How you doing? This was a hard, heavy energy week. How you doing?
Right.
You're like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. You know, like it's so
I need
different.
a nap and a blanket.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And a tree.
Yeah, and a tree.
Yes. Go hug that tree. That's a good looking tree over there.
Girl, I do that all the time. I mean, if there's a tree, I align with them like, hey, how's it going? I'll touch the tree and I don't care what people think of me.
I was talking to my friend Julie Amber before this and she was like, have you ever been weird enough to go talk to a tree and ask it to touch you? I said, heck yeah, I have.
It's amazing because you're like, okay, because I saw a video on it. I was like, well, I mean, they have consciousness just like we do. Yeah. I mean, I'll try it out. And I didn't know what to expect. I mean, yeah, you see the video and it kind of, comes over a little bit closer and then kind of maybe touches you a little bit. I'm like, all right, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah. Try it out. It works.
It works. Yeah. I'm like, how is this leaf? Like, it was way over there and now it's literally migrating and it's touching my hand. And I'm like, I just have to be weird enough to not care. Right. I'm gonna go find me a little quiet spot. Yeah. I'm like, hey, Mr. Tree, if you're there, I love you. Can you touch me? Yeah. And then you just see it like start drifting towards you. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's so weird, but so beautiful.
Hey, it's okay, man. Proud tree hugger over here.
Hell yeah. And I think, what did they say? It's like 21 seconds of hugging a tree can like change your whole day. Yeah. It's because like you have that frequency of something that is deeply rooted into the earth and then shoots up into the ether with all of its branches and leaves. And in that, oh my God, it literally grounds you so quick. Mm-hmm. Like my bad day, I'm like, I got to go find a tree. Like I'm here at work. I'm like, I got to go find a tree. And then I just go and I hug my tree or I sit next to my tree and I just feel better.
And you do.
So yeah, nature is beautiful. Nature is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so where can everybody find you? Because you're a delightful soul and I know people are going to fall in love with you. Where can people find you and work with you to kind of help regulate their nervous systems and find their still point in their own bodies?
Well, you can find me on all the social handles. So the Mystic Mercantile is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and now Lemon 8 as of last week. I'm kind of diving into that a little bit. So you can find me on all of the things.
What do you offer? Do you have any offerings?
Yeah. So so the Mystic Mercantile in and of itself offers Reiki healing. It's a Reiki Master. So Reiki, inner child healing, because that was just so profound for me. Shadow integration, somatic work from the nervous system piece of it. And so I have a studio that I share in Tomball. So that's where I see clients. And then a lot of things can be done remotely as well for people that aren't in the area.
I love that so much. You're so needed. The whole world needs energy healing, like genuinely.
We do.
You know, my friend Tony will say on his TikTok, he'll say, you're not broken, you're just out of tune.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's you earlier, you said you're not broken. And I'm like, we're not. We're just systematically, intentionally put out of tune.
Right.
And it's like, we just need to find our recalibration point.
Yes, we do.
And Reiki, I think people are getting nervous about it, but Reiki is just so beautiful.
It is beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been called lots of different things as a Reiki master. I've been accused of, working with the devil and, those rocks are blasphemous, the crystals that I wear. Come on, y'all. Like they have a healing.
Just geology.
Right. Come on. I mean, I've been called a lot of things, but the work is there. I've completely transformed as a person. I used to be really negative, drank a lot, just really unhappy. And now it's like, okay, life is life. I'm just going to ride the wave. I'm not going to try and force. I'm just going to flow with it.
Yep.
Right? We can fight the waves or we can just flow with it. And I'm choosing to flow with it because it's a hell of a lot easier.
It sure is. Yeah. And as a person who just received Reiki before the session, I can attest to the greatness of it because you haven't heard me cough.
That's true. Yeah. You haven't coughed at all.
I was trying to clear my throat chakra and I was like, oh my God, I'm gargling. I'm doing everything I could. Yeah. And she was like, can I? And I was like, what? She's like, do Reiki? I was like, yes, please. And then you just popped over and you did some Reiki, some visualization, and then it's literally been gone the entire time. So yes, 10 out of 10, highly recommend Kailee Huckaby for your Reiki sessions.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Is there anything else you want to say before we go today?
No, it's been an honor to be on the show. Thank you so much. I totally invited myself.
Yes, I love that.
I was like, you have a podcast. I have a really cool story that I want to share. Can I be on it? Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. And if anybody else has a cool story to share, please reach out to me. Yes. Light Beyond the Ashes on all the platforms. Like, this is just what we need to do. We need to come out of the spiritual closet, just tell our truth, tell our stories, not be afraid, have no shame. And then and share, because the more we can normalize this and destigmatize what an awakening really is of expanded consciousness and enlightenment and remembering that we are one, that's where the magic lies. That's how we set ourselves free.
1,000,000%. And they do. They want to keep us divided, right? They don't want us to understand this whole collective consciousness thing. They don't. They want to keep us pinned against each other and this side versus that side. And it's all bullshit. We're all one.
We're all just one. They know that, but the metaphorical they know that, but we are all remembering that we are one.
We are.
And, and I always end with the same, saying is that we are one. We're in this together. Mm-hmm. When I heal, you heal. When you heal, I heal. And when we all heal, we rise. And that's how we build the new earth together. the
Amen.
earth that we have dreamt about since we were children, the utopia of a better future.
Yeah.
It exists when we connect. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's been such an honor.
I love you so much. Mwah.
Love you.
Until next time. Bye, guys.